Showing the crushing power of the ancient Saiyans, Goten and Trunks were swiftly defeated, and Goten even killed. Fortunately, before Trunks could meet the same fate, Gohan shows up and saves him. Faced by a desperate situation, Gohan was obliged to intervene in the fight. With that, Naz was even more excited with a new, stronger opponent in front of him now. Now, the clash between the different species of Saiyans is about to begin. Super Saiyan 5 versus the ancient Super Saiyan is what I'm calling it, at least. Naz begins stretching and cracking his knuckles as Gohan watches on. And now, the true battle finally begins. Naz readies himself and charges at Gohan. Gohan blocks the first attack, or so it seems like, but Naz stops short of actually punching him, fakes him out, and then lands a kick to his face. Naz throws another kick, but Gohan is actually able to block it this time. He grabs Naz by the leg and tosses him across the battlefield. Naz backflips and catches himself, but when he looks, Gohan is already above him and throws a punch that barely misses and destroys the ground below, creating an enormous shockwave across the wasteland. He then appears behind Naz again, who had taken to the air to avoid Gohan's attack, and when he turns around, is met by another punch. Gohan kicks him into the sky again, as it's looking increasingly apparent that Super Saiyan 5 may be enough to save them here, and continues to combo his opponent across the battlefield and back into the ground below. "These new Saiyans are awesome," Grippy says from the sidelines. "I want you to fight me next time," with Boca agreeing. Gohan descends back down to the ground and raises his hands above his head. He fires a Limit Breaker Masenko at the spot where Naz was launched, and it causes a massive explosion that illuminates the wasteland. When the smoke clears, although Gohan seems to have the upper hand, Naz steps out, saying, "I must say, I'm thrilled. It's been a long time since I met someone at my level." Even Trunks seems to have regained faith that maybe now that Gohan is here, they won't suffer any more casualties and they can bring Goten back sooner than they thought. Gohan, as we know, has never been one to enjoy fighting, so he'd rather put an end to this sooner than later. "Do you want to already put an end to our fun?" Naz asks. "You new Saiyans are very different." Round 2 begins as these two charge at each other and trade crushing punches as they show how equal they may truly be right now. The force from their clash sends shockwaves throughout the desert as all of the spectators are nearly blown away. The two Saiyans engage in one of those Budokai Tenkaichi style clashes throughout the skies. Gohan would eventually notice that Naz is moving more precise than before. In this short period of time, he's already adapted to my movements. If this continues like this, I'll be at a disadvantage. "I'll do everything to win," Gohan declares as he powers up another attack. He charges up a punch and flawlessly delivers the blow to Naz, who's nearly knocked out from it. But Gohan isn't done here. He fires off a devastating combo, trying his best to break Naz down, and once he's on the back foot, Gohan charges the finishing blow. He prepares a special beam cannon, declaring that this will be the end. He fires the special beam cannon that rips through the skies towards his opponent. Naz can barely contain his look of excitement as the other Saiyans watching are blinded by the attack. Through the smoke, however, the unthinkable is shown. Naz seems to have tanked Gohan's strongest attack and wasn't even pierced by it, while having the audacity to claim that he's dying. He then goes into a manic rant, saying that this feeling he's getting from this battle is why he can never stop fighting. And then it happens. Naz's power begins to boil over from the excitement of a life and death battle where he isn't the clear victor, being forced to his very limits by Gohan. His ki grows more vicious as the other Saiyans watch on excitedly for him to break his limits. Naz's ki erupts into something that can only be described at this point as dreadful, as his entire transformation takes on another mutation. Naz's new transformation looks more feral than the last, as his true power finally shines through. I love this feeling of power, he says, impressed with his own transformation. Each time, more and more power. I'm almost overriding. Unfortunately, it seems that Gohan was the trigger for him to awaken, and now he's evolved into something far more dangerous than before. I'm so happy that I broke all my limits, Nas says. I feel like now, there's nothing I can't do. What a bunch of guys, Trunks comments. They only live for combat. Let's go, Nas says, eager to test his new strength. Let me show you what I can do. He charges at Super Saiyan 5 Gohan and throws a kick that he's barely able to dodge as Gohan blocks his next attack. The two engage in another back and forth, and Gohan is able to hold his own at first, until Nas grabs him by the face and slams him into the ground below like something Broly would do. However, before he's able to do any serious damage, Gohan responds by releasing an enormous amount of ki to separate the two. He then launches himself out of the ground and fires back at Nas, ending in another earth-shattering clash of fists. Gohan meets him with a punch, to which Nas returns one of his own, as these two engage in one of the most dramatic back and forths of all time. No one has the clear upper hand, but at the very least, one of these parties is having the time of their lives. Very good, Nas says, as with every attack thrown, he enjoys it more and more. Well, I think you're finally starting to catch your breath, Nas says, as Gohan is the first to start showing clear signs of fatigue now. Now that I've evolved, I'll have a little more fun, he says. Nas gathers a large amount of ki in both of his hands and merges them together, almost in his own Kamehameha-esque style of technique. Gohan begins charging his own Kamehameha to counter this attack, as this next clash may actually decide the victor with the amount of ki that they're about to expend here. The two Saiyans put the majority of their remaining ki in these two final attacks as Nas releases his raging tornado. Gohan returns fire with the Limit Breaker Super Kamehameha as these two attacks rip through the sky and clash in a massive explosion of powerful ki. Nas is having the time of his life fighting Gohan, while Gohan is fighting for his. And through it all, Nas still has more to give. He expels a massive amount of ki and obliterates Gohan in one final push. Trunks is stunned that the power of Super Saiyan 5 has been overwhelmed, as Nas admits that even he's surprised by the outcome of this encounter. When the smoke clears, Gohan is still standing. However, he's spent the majority of his energy and has reverted back to his base form. Oops. Looks like you're back to normal, Nas says after realizing Gohan is powerless now. I've been trying to reduce the power. Your ki went down there? Is it over already? Killing someone like you like that would be a waste. Won't you evolve a little bit more too, he asks? I thought you guys were powered up by anger. We can try. We'll see. Now, how can I do this? Nas wonders to himself. What will make you angry? Well, let's try some different options. Gohan powers back up to Super Saiyan with the remaining strength that he has left to defend himself. Nas continues attacking him, but just punishing Gohan isn't good enough to push him into a new evolution. No matter how much pain he endures, this isn't his trigger. It never has been. Trunks helplessly can only look on, especially since he himself has already been defeated by Nas, as Gohan is pummeled and sent crashing into the ground. Nas lands in front of him and walks towards him, saying that, I don't think the pain is gonna help here. But then, this is when he remembers something significant from earlier on during his battle with Trunks. The true trigger for the new Saiyans. The pain of loss is the true cause of rage that pushes them beyond their limits. This is what happened when Trunks went berserk Super Saiyan 3 after the death of Goten. So this is when he appears in front of Trunks, as Gohan can only watch helplessly as Naz pierces Trunks through the stomach. Again, another Z fighter falls to the Ancient Saiyans, as Naz begun with killing Goten and now Trunks in the same exact way, saying, "Trunks doesn't interest him anymore. Your death is for the greater good." After not being able to save either of them, Gohan's anger erupts like never before after being forced to watch Trunks die, as the feelings he felt when Pan was murdered in front of him tear to the forefront. However, with what the Ancient Saiyans may have just awakened can never be undone, just like with the birth of Super Saiyan 5. In Chapter 24 of Dragon Ball AF, a new transformation beyond Super Saiyan 5 is about to be born. So if you guys have been enjoying the story of Dragon Ball AF, let me know your favorite arc so far down below in the comments. Be sure to leave a like on this video for more. It lets me know that you guys are enjoying the story. Subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so you never miss a Dragon Ball upload in the future. Have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, my boys.